Our good people of the Vanguard family, I welcome you to today's episode of our favorite business show, the Vanguard Business Life. And as we draw closer to the end of the year, still big things are happening around the economic environment, business environment, to be specific. And last weekend, we had a maiden opportunity to have the full details of our new central bank leadership, what they have in stock, and several things were said by the new governor. I think he's about 2 months plus old now on that seat, and people like are still like, what are we expecting from this man? What's going on? We haven't seen much from you, sir. So last weekend, he had to unveil it all to Nigerians. And there are a few things some of us probably must have read in the papers, had in the news broadcasts here and there, would include interest rate management, better management of interest rate, exchange rate stability, and then, of course, reorganization of the banking industry. And then I think substantial also on the issue of intervention funding from the Central Bank of Nigeria that also had to do with the micro, small, and medium enterprises, which is of interest to this program, this our Vanguard Business Life program. I think probably in the next episode we dwell much on that. But for today, we want to look at the very important issue he raised that they will be working on. The new central bank will be all about in the next couple of months to almost years. It calls that inflation targeting. And now all of us know what inflation is, the impact and the implication to businesses. And of course, it affects everybody, not just MSMEs or the business world, commercial world, but every individual. The cost of living is rising, no thanks to inflation rates. That's also on the uptick. Of course, we know the numbers as at last month, October figures that were released the previous week, showing a 27.33%. And most importantly, the record is that it's on the 10th month consecutive rise. Okay, so meaning that in the past 10 months, we have been having steady rise in inflation. And then, of course, we know it's been about 18, it's at about 18 years high so far. So the implication of businesses is obvious. And then we look at the impact so far on some organized private sector, where the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria told us last month that their inventory, the stock of unsold goods, are rising, obviously because the purchasing power has also been eroded by the same inflation, so much so that the households were just managing to buy a few essential things they can afford for now. And then it's also affecting MSMEs, of course, drastically because of they do not have enough resources to weather the storm in terms of cost of doing business, meaning that even a lot of them must have folded up. So but the new central bank say that they are tackling inflation head on. Then what are they really going to do? Now, the hint we have, obviously, is that there's what we call monetary policy rate, which is the benchmark interest rate. And then the policy envisages using an orthodox strategy of keep on increasing this benchmark interest rate, MPR, to such a point as to discourage or mop up cash from the economy, because the conventional definition of inflation is when too much money is chasing too few goods. You and I know whether that is actually applicable in Nigeria, but that is what the central bank intends to do in inflation targeting. No, so the implication immediately will be that interest rates will rise further. At 18.75% as at now, the NPR is already considered high enough to put prime lending rate at somewhere between 25 and 27%, and other lending at over 30%. That's too high, almost prohibitive. And then That also will still stoke cost of doing business, meaning that the cost of doing business is not about going down soon, and then your business shouldn't go down. If anything, it should go up. Okay, so but it doesn't go up by adding additional cost to your product because you may not be able to pass it on to consumers. So it means that you end up with unsold goods and services. So what do you do? Obviously, navigating the environment is to begin to look at alternatives, a way of containing your cost of doing business. What are the options you have in terms of resources you need to put into that business? You need to put on a thinking cap around that. Never you think of continually increasing the price of your goods because you may not find enough customers to take them up. At this point, let us draw a conclusion that the business environment is still going to be challenging in the months ahead. In the next episode, we'll probably share some ideas some experts have profiled against the situation. Have a great day ahead. Thank you.